Hi everyone, Allison and I are here today with a special sweet talk where we're going to reminisce. Alice, do you feel like reminiscing?
If I can remember.
We're going to be reminiscing about all of our past sew-alongs that we've had. So it's a bit of a special
all
that we
types.
have on it.
We have our normal sew-along, and then we introduced our KISS sew-along, was keeping it simple sew-along. And then now
a bag technique sew-along. Yeah, so the main sew-along that we had, that we started with back in 2019, is a monthly sew-along. And then it's a couple of offshoots. Then we have this Keep It Simple sew-along, which we call KISS for short. And then the bag technique sew-along, which is great because we have our resident bag making expert here, Martin Smith, who guides everyone through learning different techniques, but using panels made in the hoop into bags. Yes, and Alison will be announcing our winner from last week's Sweet Talk competition, and we'll also be giving you details for this week's competition.
Wonderful. And then we might also tell you something about a new section on our website, which we call the Hall of Fame.
Hoop of Fame.
Hoop of Fame. That's a better name for it. Whoever thought of that. Anyway, so the Hoop of Fame, and that's showcasing a lot of the past sew-along winners and everything with lots of photos and inspiration there. So we'll explain that to you later. All right, so drum roll. We're going to announce the winner now of last month's.
Well, I want to thank everyone for entering. Like the competition last month was, what would you do if you won? What would you do with a roll of wet away if you were to win it in a competition?
And what would you make and why?
So we had lots and lots of entries, and
it was great for us too to see everyone's
because everyone was being very creative with what they'd do with the wet away, how they'd make it. So just sometimes you think, what do you do with wet away?
So I printed a couple of the comments here, and just read them to you, just so you can also get an idea what our customers want to do. And this was Nola Bruder, and she said how to choose which one first. She makes FSL, which is freestanding lace ornaments. She's made the lace purse, one of the clutches, and an adorable elephant door hanger for her new grandbaby due in May. So congratulations.
How exciting. That's going to be wonderful. You'll have fun making things with the wet away. Yeah. We had another one from Shelley's Creations. She said she'd make some freestanding lace Christmas decorations because her Christmas is favourite time of the year and she's always looking to make new decorations.
Isn't everyone?
And it's so good when you can personalise your own decorations rather than buy them from the store, isn't it, Alice?
Give them as gifts and everything as well.
With the wet away, which is a water-soluble stabiliser, it makes doing designs like for a freestanding decoration or coasters or whatever so much easier.
Makes it easy, doesn't it? So, all right, so who's the winner, Annette? Oh, I've got to announce it, haven't I? Right. So they have the winner, and congratulations to Carol Hiller. And her comment was, oh my, so many to choose from. I've had my eye on the butterfly bag for a while as a gift, so I guess I'd have to choose this as my first project with a few freestanding lace Christmas ornaments to follow. So now Carol has some of
that
our
in the mail to you, Carol.
So congratulations, and thank you for entering.
So many inspiring ideas to what you can use this with. And with our rolls of water-soluble Alison, you get 9 metres or 10 yards on a roll. So that's going to last you
lots of ornaments with
lots of decorations.
Yeah. So, of course, we'll be having a competition in today's video as well.
Yeah, so just stay to the end where we're going to announce the details of that and the prize that you'll win. We're going to start this episode reminiscing about our past monthly sew-alongs. So, Alison, this has been a customer favourite, this one.
It's my favourite, actually.
We've taken it to all the shows we've been to around the world.
Yeah.
It's a table runner, but it can be used as a flag.
Yeah.
It's called our Flourishing Flowers Table Runner. And This was made in a 6x10 hoop, so it gives you a bit of an idea of the size.
Yeah.
It's got this beautiful light fill embroidery on the flowers, which looks really effective against the black background.
And it's a lot faster to embroider than a dense fill, so this could be like a faster make for you as well, even though like it's absolutely stunning.
Of course, as we've always try and include a bit of applique as well, and then you can see we've just doubled the blocks to make those.
Yeah, and what this does, it makes it more versatile.
Yeah,
you can make it a lot longer, or even
more panels.
You can turn them around the other way.
So the longer the table you have.
And a lot of people made it into a flag.
We actually do have a flag somewhere floating around, Allison, but we never got that out.
And they just basically make this. Or you can make that, but a lot of people use this as a bit of a border at the top, and then put your little tags on and you can hang that.
Yeah, so this is our Flourishing Flowers Table Runner.
Yeah, we've used some of our beautiful cork in it as well.
Some of our faux leather.
We like to combine embroidery and applique. I don't really personally like large areas of machine embroidery. So it's a bit sweet piece style, you would probably say.
This gorgeous one is our Field of Flowers hanger.
Aptly named.
It is, and it's done in panels, rectangular panels made in the hoop. And it gives this effect of the sky, the mountains, the fields, and then the flowers at the beginning.
Yeah. This was great as a sew-along.
It was, because we saw so many different versions, didn't we?
People just went into town and just made like there were brown mountains and everything, which made it look like arid sort of country. And
you could really personalise it to your own area.
Yeah.
So it's not just, it doesn't apply just to one particular
and people
area.
actually took this part literally as well, the Field of Flowers area, and their fabrics, they use like a print of small poppies, or a print of small tulips, or
which is why these monthly sew-alongs are so good, because everybody has a different interpretation of it. Someone even made roads. They used this black fabric here, and then the stitching there, they had white stitching on the black fabric, and it looked like a road going through the field.
Yeah.
So great ideas. That was our Field of Flowers hanger. This is our retro rumble design. It's a cushion cover. We don't have it stuffed at the moment, but it's made in rectangular panels, and then you also get the files to make the border.
These borders are just beautiful. Because of how the stitching comes closer and further apart in some areas, it actually makes it look like it's a metallic thread.
It kind of gives it like an ombre look too, don't you think?
Of course, it's our credit thread as well, which has a
beautiful
nice sheen.
The sheen on top of that.
I swear that was metallic thread when I look at that.
I know, and you don't have the problems that metallic thread gives you.
No, and of course you don't have to make this as a cushion.
No.
You can also make that as a beautiful table runner. You could even make a gorgeous quilt.
Couldn't you?
Out of that, and you could. These are sold as borders, but that can also be used as sashing in between blocks as well if you want to make a quilt, because there's one block that's the width of the block, and then there's a long one, so you could be doing long ones in between.
Let your imagination go wild, which is what the people in our monthly sew-along did.
Yes.
This is another version that we stitched up, so you can see how different the one design.
We did that so you could see, like in the mono, sort of like just the same colour thread the whole way through, which makes it very quick stitch out as well. You've got no thread changes.
That's true. But again, Alison, like these are the rectangular blocks.
Yep.
Wouldn't that make a good clutch front or something?
Clutch, yeah.
So you can mix and match our designs, of course, so that's another
idea. Now you've got me thinking, what colours would I do by clutching?
Yeah, I know.
Well, we actually ended up making a tote bag.
Yeah, well, Cassie liked them so much, she did use them. So she's made them vertical, the rectangular blocks.
She's actually used those border blocks here on the end of the bag, and she's used, these are the little corner ones that are supplied as well, and she's made a couple of those to actually make a flap.
So, Alison, I believe we've got a video online of Cassie just giving some instructions on how to use those.
And of course, that's the 6x10 block. But if you use the 5x7 or 7x12 block, you could actually make a smaller bag or larger bag.
Yeah, that's true.
Same with the,
very versatile.
Yeah, so that is our retro rumble.
So this is a blast from the past, Alison. This is our Cityscape Runner, and it was a very, very popular monthly sew-along.
It was one of the early ones.
Again, it's a great one for you to personalise to where you live.
Yep.
This is a made-up city. People used to ask us what city it was based on, and we said it's our fantasy sweet pea city.
And we made it on purpose, a lot of different style buildings, everything. So if you want to make it look like your city, you can do so if you like.
Yeah, you could leave out a block if it didn't appeal to you. You can just repeat one.
Part of the theme too is that it transgresses from night to day.
It does.
So we've done it using the fabrics, but also just because there's a moon in that one, and then the stars, and then as you come further along, the sky gets lighter, and we have a little sun.
And then even the windows, the lights are on the windows in the darker one. So we've got the darker fabric with the light embroidery for the windows.
That's right.
So that's sort of showing that the lights are on in these buildings. Then in the daytime, they're not showing up as much.
As you say, this was an early sew-along, and it just made it come home to us how important the sew-alongs are because of the versatile way people used it.
Well, people like to personalise their embroidery, and this is a really great way. And it's very simple. It's just rectangular pieces of applique, isn't it?
Someone
mainly?
actually made it without backing it and turned it into a lampshade, and the light was glowing from it. It was absolutely beautiful. So this is made in the 6x10 hoop, and you can see they're rectangular blocks, but it comes in 5x7, 6x10.
And 8x12.
8x12 for this one.
So the 8x12 would be probably nearly as big as, like, including the border. So
and after the machine embroidery instructions, all our current customers will know, but if you're new to Sweet Pea, we then go on and tell you how to do
so you're
borders
just not doing the embroidery and the applique.
We give you a sewing pattern.
We give you the full instructions to get to the finished piece. So if it's a table runner, we'll give you the instructions how to make a table runner.
So if you're looking for that on the website, this is called the Cityscape Table Runner.
So this is our last pick for our monthly sew-along design review. This is our bookshelf quilt, Allison.
Yep, so popular.
It is. Bookshelves, everybody loves making a bookshelf quilt, and this is our beautiful version of it. It's done in a square block, which comes in different sizes. So this was done in a 6x6, of course.
The shelf actually is also part of that block.
That's right, so it's very easy to do. A lot of simple applique with a lot of just rectangles.
The reason it's so popular, well, one thing is it's just a total scrap buster, because look at these fabrics, like would you have ever put any of them together?
Yeah.
But when you buy books, they're not coloured.
Well, actually,
to match each other.
Better to have them so jarringly different, isn't it? So that they stand out.
Yep, so it's a great scrap buster for that reason. And the other reason is because who doesn't know someone who loves books?
Yep, or has a sporting hobby.
Or a degree in science, and they'll do, biology books, labels, or whatever.
So all of the text that you see here on these books, on our bookshelf quilt, come as part of the design file, but you can leave that part of the design off
and change it
and add your own. It's a good opportunity when you have a picture frame. You can do some fussy cutting if you're into fussy cutting. You could even do fabric printing with your printing a photo onto fabric and then adding it into a frame. We've used quite a lot of our Sweet Pea products. We've used our faux leathers. This is a beautiful metallic faux leather. We've used some of our cork fabrics.
We have our mylar.
And our mylar, of course, which is perfect for anything that has, which is supposed to be depicting glass. Yep. So that's like a little plant cloche.
Yep.
Then we have a vase down the bottom.
You can just do normal applique for that if you don't have any mylar.
That could be a picture frame or a mirror. And then at the top, we've got a beautiful clock. So when we do any design that has mylar in it, we include a stipple stitch that stitches down the mylar. So whenever you see something that we've included mylar in, there's a beautiful stipple stitch like on that clock or on that vase. That's all embroidery. That's all.
And a little bit of trivia for you. There's actually a large version of this who's been made by one of our customers in the Barbara Bush Foundation.
Oh, really?
In the US, yeah. It's on their wall.
That's amazing.
And it has a big dedication by Barbara Bush on it, and a photo of all the bushes has been put into all the photo frames and everything. So
this is a perfect design to personalise. It's like it would become a family heirloom.
It was so popular. Actually, we decided to release some add-on blocks.
So these are more specialised for kind of like
people said, could we please have a bookend?
Yep.
So we gave them a bookend.
For sporting people.
The trophies, and of course some craft items on your shelf. That's the other bookend up here.
Then if you're partial to a tipple.
I love this.
Isn't that
whiskey
beautiful?
Decanter.
That looks like, that Bohemian crystal or something like that.
That is exactly what it looks like.
Beautiful.
Anyway, so that's our gorgeous bookshelf quilt.
and add-on blocks. Well, I hope you enjoyed our review of some of our previous monthly sew-along designs. Before we jump into some previous KISS sew-along designs, stay tuned to find out how you can win a free future sew-along design. That'd be great, wouldn't it, Alison? So our KISS sew-alongs are perfect for beginners because when you purchase one of our designs, it comes with the complete instructions, don't they, Alison?
Yeah, and video tutorial for our sew-alongs.
So this is our stained glass key hanger. So you get the instructions how to put it all together. You make the blocks and the hoop, of course, but then you get the instructions how to make the hanger.
Yeah.
I love these stained glass designs, Alison, because when you use the dark satin stitch, it really looks like the lead lining.
Just from a distance.
Yeah.
This was made in a 6x10 hoop, but you can also make this in a smaller hoop if you want a smaller
version
hanger, or it go also in the 7x12 if you want a bigger version. And of course, you don't have to make it.
You could leave the loops off. You could just have it as a hanger.
And we've done a loop up here with
pocket.
a piece of folded fabric, so you could actually mount this like on a piece of dowel or rod or something like that.
That's a cute one.
This is our beautiful keepsake hanger. It was one of our previous KISS sew-along designs, and KISS stands for Keeping It Simple Sew-along. This was a pretty good versatile one.
Yeah, very good.
Comes with different files, a couple of different files with some different words, and we have a couple of ideas here on different ways you can use the design.
What I like about this, Alison, it is really keeping it simple because you're not even having to sew blocks together.
Yep.
They come, as part of the design, there's a little loop that gets stitched. So then you can attach it with either D-rings like Alison has on hers, or we've just attached ours with some
I like the ribbon option.
Some ribbons,
that's cute.
yeah. So they're just, and you can keep adding to these panels, can't you? You could have it as long as you wanted to.
And some of the blocks have got this little applique piece here, so you could print some photos on fabric and sew them onto there. Or I like this too, where it's cute.
Yep. And then we've left these panels blank so that you can actually add text yourself, or you could just be hanging your little photos across.
With the little cute pegs. They're nice. So you could also just use this as a note board or something to yourself.
That's true.
And hang post-it notes or something
so
from it.
So two versions, one says family and one says memories.
It's called our keepsake hanger. This was actually our very first KISS sew-along, our Keep It Simple sew-along. We were looking for designs that were quicker to sew than our normal monthly sew-alongs, which our customers were looking for. So this is a little bloom placemat.
It's a very kind of abstract design, isn't it? Like you've got the sunflower at the corner, but then this flowing thing. But the great thing with this is, Alison, when you put the panels together, there's no satin stitch to be joining.
No.
It's very easy for a beginner, probably to grasp the concept of the applique.
That's right.
And the stitching and the hoop.
Yep. We've used some different fabrics there, some faux leather and cork, a bit of calf facet fabric. Of course, our instructions show you how to back things. There's always a video tutorial. There's lots of photos on the website as well. If you go to this product page, the Bloom Placemat product page, you'll see a gallery there of what a lot of other people have made this into, and people got very creative, so it's fun to watch.
Selection of some of the cushion or pillow designs that we've done in our KISS sew-alongs. Of course, you do not have to make a cushion or a pillow out of these blocks. They're just square blocks that you could actually use multiple of. And
you could make a whole quilt with them.
Quilts or runners.
And actually, if you did make a quilt, how lovely would it be then to have a cushion that matches?
That's right, yeah, matching.
This one's the geometric cushion. The one here is called the Wildflower Window.
Wild
cushion.
Yep.
Aren't they beautiful? And all these borders are actually done using the flip and fold method while you're in the hoop, and then these are embroidered over the top of them.
And talking about the flip and fold method, Alison, that's the name of this cushion. It's called the flip and fold floral cushion.
So these are all KISS sew-alongs, as we said, and we try to introduce some new techniques and everything in there as well.
Yep. So I mean, you know, you could make a bigger cushion by using more blocks. This is a 6x6 block. You can make it in different sizes. You can make that in 5x5, or 6x6, 7x7 or 8x8 block. And another one, was another very popular one in our sew-along. This is called the Exotic Bloom Cushion. So that can be made in all the different hoop sizes as well. It's a square block.
Also, you'll notice on this one, we've actually thrown in a peeper binding here. So if you think that's too complicated, you don't need to do it. But we do a video tutorial on all these designs, so it's just a good opportunity to show something like that, a new technique.
So that's the people binding there that Alison's talking about?
Yeah. That adds another dimension.
So you can put that on quilts as well, anywhere that you put
anything,
a binding.
And actually, if you watch our video tutorial on how to do it, go ahead and put it anywhere.
And this is another cushion, a different shape, but this is a pin cushion.
Pin cushion, and it has little pockets for you to put tools and everything in, and it's just a beautiful thing to have in your sewing room, or actually if you're doing a bit of work in your lounge room or something while you're watching television, you can have that out. It doesn't look messy, it looks actually very beautiful.
Very pretty.
Yeah. So they're our sweet pea cushions from our Kiss sew-alongs.
This is a versatile little purse. This is called our Flip and Fold Jumble Purse, and this was a design in our sew-along group. Everyone had fun making this one, Alison, didn't they? So many different versions, as you can see, even with two of our samples. We've got the pretty pinks, and then we've got the very oriental
And this
fabrics.
just shows you the potential to make things without any applique.
Yes.
I'd say embroidery too, but it has got this beautiful quilting design.
It's like a bit of a swirl on it.
Yep, but the flip and fold process is pretty quick. You don't even really have to cut out your pieces before doing a flip and fold, as long as you know your piece is going to be big enough for that.
Well, when you've got your hoop stabiliser, it will put down a placement line, so you can just gauge how big that looks, and you can just cut your fabric to that. It's got lovely box corners, so it sits well on the table top.
We did this one in some Japanese fabric. In the sew-along group, there was, I can't even tell you how many entries there were. It was very popular.
It was.
So this lots of different colours and...
Yeah, so this was made, you can make this in a 5x7, 6x10 or 7x12 hoop. This was made in a 6x10, so you can see the size. Of course, a 7x12 would be bigger, and a 5x7 would be smaller. So that's our Flip and Fold Jumble Purse design.
Well, I hope you enjoyed having a look at our previous Kiss sew-along designs. Now we're going to move on to our bag sew-alongs, and then stay tuned because we have an exciting competition coming up, and you can win a free design in one of our future sew-alongs.
So this is a fabulous design in our bag sew-along group, and it's basically a bag technique group, isn't it, Alison?
Yeah.
Where people will learn a new technique in the making of a bag.
Yeah, we have some more interesting shaped bags that we think may be a little bit more complicated and probably need a video tutorial or something to go with them.
But as with any of our designs, the foundations are started in the hoop.
That's right.
This is all made in the hoop, and then we give you the instructions how to put the panels together to make this bag.
Is actually a set as well.
So it's called Take a Break set. This is like a little bag that you can put your school lunch or your work lunch in. This should have a water bottle in it, but Alison's put a bottle of champagne in it, so
wine.
Alison has a good work lunch.
I do have a fun work lunch. It's not that fun because we haven't drunk it yet, but anyway.
But the bag's fully lined. It's got this great zipper. We sell continuous rolls of zippers, so it doesn't matter how long you need the zipper to be.
You can cut it to length.
You can cut it to length.
You could also purchase these designs after the sew-along's finished, of course. Then they're just on the website then as a normal product that you can purchase.
But being a member of that bag sew-along group does tend to show, teach
gives you a lot
techniques.
of support.
And, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in there who can help you along the way. If you have any problems. I like how that's got that little loop there so you could hook it on something.
So the instructions for these sew-along groups come with videos as well, video tutorials. So if you're a bit nervous, if you follow step by step along with the tutorials and the written instructions, you will end up with a great piece like this.
And it's called Take a Break.
That's right.
This is one of our previous Sweet Pea bag sew-alongs. It's called the Vintage Tote. It's cute as anything. It's made with a square block.
I think this is my favourite bag design that we've done in the sew-alongs.
It's an unusual shape. I'll have to open it up so you can actually see how it works. It's very clever. The zips open around the back here, like that. And then you can open it up. The one we've made for the sew-along, we've added these little pockets in the lining. And of course that's all in the video tutorial. We'll show you how to do that. You could use it to take your iron to a sewing group and put some little sewing tools and stuff in there. Also, as a great lunch box, you could line this with PUL fabric, which is waterproof.
You could put, if you're a knitter, you could put all your knitting, all your wools and supplies in there. But it's just such a versatile bag. This is a real showstopper. People just love it when they see it. And just the mix of fabrics that you can get into it too, because you said this is flip and fold, Allison?
Yes, and there's no applique in this one either.
No.
Which makes it quicker. There's not a lot of satin stitch to sew. Basically the only embroidery is all this beautiful quilting. Of course, you know, when you do it in plain fabrics like that, you can see the quilts. So it depends what you want to feature, if you want to feature the fabric or the quilting. But it's a beautiful bag, and there's in the video tutorial shows you how to make this beautiful handle.
Once again, this is a really good technique that you can make many different sorts of bags with.
And that's available for purchase on the website, on the product page as well. There's lots of photos of versions that the customers have made as well to help you with inspiration.
Well, this is our vintage tote bag.
This is our beautiful circular tote design.
This is incredible, Allison.
I know.
So this is just a dark plain fabric, a bit of a grungy sort of a fabric.
That's right, with all that embroidery.
And all this colour is all embroidery. It's just stunning, and it all comes, the three triangles just come into the middle there with that flower.
Right. And
how easy is it too, Alison? Looking at it, there's nothing joining. You're not.
No, we've done that on purpose.
Yeah, you're not matching up any stitching or anything. So you don't have to be exactly perfect. I know some people are worried about getting all of their points together.
Some people actually liked a particular block, and they just did all three. In the same block as well. And of course, look at the gorgeous borders.
So of course, as with all of our designs, you get the files to make these panels on your embroidery machine, plus you get the instructions how to put them all together and make the bag.
Yeah, some people also just did this type of thing.
How quick would this be, not having to change the colour thread, Alison?
Yeah, definitely.
And then again, the beautiful straps. You get the instructions how to make this double strap, so it's all fabric, but you've got that top fabric on.
And it's so easy once someone shows you how to do it. Like, it looks very complicated, it looks store-bought.
It does.
But it's actually one of the easiest way to make straps.
And how great to be able to personalise your bag with a matching strap.
And you don't need to know how to sew a zip in, because that panel there's also done in the hoop.
With your zips put in the hoop.
And then you just assemble it all.
And it's all lined, of course. We've got stuffing in there, but it's all lined, the bag. It's absolutely beautiful.
I've taken that to a lot of shows, and nearly everyone asks, where the bag came from.
So pretty. This is a very groovy design, Allison. This is one of our bag technique sew-along group designs. So it's called the Woodstock Messenger Bag, and when Martin designed this bag, he was inspired by the Woodstock, like music festivals and like kind of that hippies theme.
Yeah.
He's made this we've made this sample out of sort of like a dark blue denim, black denim almost. Yeah. So this is just all embroidery on it.
This is part of the process in the hoop. They're actually making that pocket.
It looks good. It kind of looks like the pocket you get on the back of a pair of pants or something, wouldn't it, really? It does. And then it's got this beautiful flap with embroidery. So this was made in a 6x10 hoop. And then on the back, it's got a couple more pockets and a snap enclosure on the back. So wherever possible when we design bags, we try and put as much pockets and storage space in them.
This is a pretty fast bag to make. Might not look it, but there's not that many hoopings. A lot of it is done actually in the hoop.
So with all of our bags, you make the panels in the hoop, and then we give you instructions how to assemble them all on your sewing machine.
This bag is the most comfortable bag ever. I'm not even going to be able to show you. I don't know why I'm trying to tell you. But when you carry it, it just sort of like wraps around your hip.
Yeah.
And it is just so comfortable.
And again, look at that stunning strap that we've made.
Yep.
So it's got the denim on the back, which is the basis of the bag, but then it's got the beautiful floral, which I believe is on the inside, the lining.
Yep. And this is actually a simple way to make bag handles. It might even be easier actually than making a plain colour bag handle. So once you've learnt that technique in the video tutorial, you can use it for anything.
That's really good. That's the Woodstock Messenger bag. So thanks for joining us today as we've gone through some of our favourites of our sew-along designs.
Yeah.
Now we'd love to hear from you, and we're going to have a competition where you let us know what your previous sew-along favourite design is.
They can just put it in the comments under the
in the comments
video
below. Just say whatever design you've liked in the past sew-alongs, and you can go into the draw to win a free future sew-along design.
Yep.
Alison, we've got a brand new segment on our website now that we'd like to tell you about. It's called our Hoop of Fame. So we've had our sew-alongs going for quite a few years now. Many years. And over those years we've seen great projects being made. So we'd like to show recognition to some of those winners.
We'd be good to put them in one place.
That's right.
Because often we put the photos in the galleries on the products page, but to put them in one place for you so you can have a look.
So to find it on the website, you go to the menu list and you go to Community and Learning. When you click on that, it'll say Hoop of Fame. So there's a whole lot of different sections on that. We have the latest monthly sew-along winners, we have the latest KISS winners, bag technique winners, latest block of the week, the block of the month. So if you've won a prize in any of those sew-alongs in the past, the photo of your project will be online for everyone to see. We've also got a latest innovation award, and that's an award we give to people who have kind of thought more outside the box, which kind of meant that they were ineligible for the prize for that particular sew-along,
but it showcases. Loved it. It was in it.
So I encourage you to have a look at that because it's just in recognition of the hard work that everyone does.
There's a section there too that's all the past ones as well.
Yeah. So you can click on, see all of 2024 Jumble Pack bag technique sew-along winners. You can see
so it's got
all different ones. The block of the week Christmas winners from 2024, you can see those. So I encourage you to have a look at that. It's under Community and Learning, and then you click on Hoop of Fame and you'll see all of those photos on the website.
Well, thank you for joining us for our Sweet Talk with Sweet Pea, our past and previous sew-along special. We're really looking forward to seeing your answers in the comments below and wish you good luck in the competition.
So we encourage you to share the love with the Sweet Pea Sew-along community. Join all of our Sweet Pea Sew-along groups, have some fun and inspiration in those.
And don't forget to visit our website, which is swpea.com.